talked about the inclusion of PWDs in the neck of the party, such that when those guys are discussing their things up there, we also get our cake from that level. Also, we end an issue with the IBC that we also discussed about having a table during the election of persons with disability who will be actually monitoring and accessing the disabled people to the polling station. Thank you.
I think I also mentioned something last time. One, we need to revise the provisions of Disability Act number 14 of 2003. I saw, like, when you go to ABDK down there, there are some assistive devices that are very expensive. For example, the wheelchairs, the surgical boot, the white cans. For example, I remember I took a guy last time, and it cost us around 5,000 to have some shoes for him, while other Kenyans, and you know, those are just the basic shoes. So I was simply saying, if can we consider enhancing that act such that we zero rate on taxes on those assistive devices, and then also we look at the composition of the National Council. I was thinking, like, why don't we move it from being a council that sits under the auspices of a ministry, and then we take it to be a disability commission, such that even the finances that we are going to receive that is going to mainstream issues of this, the disabled groups, it will just be coming directly from the exchequer to their accounts. On also some areas that we've seen it so very hectic is the issues of tax exemption and maybe importation of assistive or locomotive devices. I was suggesting, if possible, why don't we empower, now that if we transform the National Council for Persons with Disabilities to a disability commission, we give them an extra responsibilities in the Constitution, such that they will be dealing with issues of disability assessments, tax exemption, and importation of those whatever, those gadgets, if the PWDs needs. And finally, another area where I saw it's very important for us to also look at it is the nominations of persons with disabilities, which under the Political Party Act, there is something very important. Sometimes, like we are seated here, some of our members here, one was supposed to have been nominated in the last election, but just because of some fishy business that was going on around, she could not make. So I was saying now that we are engaging seriously on how we can mainstream these things. Can we amend the law in such a way that when we will be nominating these persons with disabilities, let it come from us? So that, because you see political parties like, yes, they can pick a disabled person, but that disabled person is not the sound fella that some of us here would want to be. Like, for example, now if we take you, Heberlin, to represent us in the National Assembly, you will feel like now it is the PWDs who are fronting you to represent the issues. And you know, if we allow political parties to cherry-pick people to represent us, automatically those people, they will switch up from being PWDs and reps, and they represent their political parties, and you will see many things will be messed up. I think those are the few I have. Thank you.
Recap on the impact of advocacy. Kama kwa hiyo short clip yenye tumeona, as much as those kids had an issue, but when they come, unaweza erase, you can write a letter to your area MP on what you want to be advocated for, but at times it calls for joint effort. To combine our efforts, let's say if you have an issue that is pressing us and we combine our efforts together, then it's possible we achieve what we want to get that impact. Sawa sawa. So that's basically what the program is doing and why it was relevant. We have it.
I have a right as a person, not being associated. We drop the word disability first. As a person, I have a right to participate in any democratic right, in any manner that is expected from another person. So be it have a disability or I don't have, I have a right to participate, my democratic right.
It's a democratic, the right to participate.
We have a right politically to vote, and also right to choose the leaders of our choices.
Yeah, you have that right to vote and choose leaders.
As person with disability, I have a right to contest in any seat according to my qualification.
Unajua umeongea na uchungu, kwani mtu alikataza kusimama?
Okay, thank you. Kelvin Mokaya here. I think also as a PWD, one has a right to freedom of association. You have a right to join, you have a right to form, or to be part of any association that you choose.
Okay, mimi naamini kuwa hata ule mlemavu ako na cerebral palsy, ako na right ya kuvote. So we also have that right here, accessibility to the polling stations. Na kama walemavu wale hawawezi fika hapo, the IBC or rather let me say the government, it should have the numbers wale hawawezi fika hapo, pia hata wanapewa hiyo nafasi ya kuvote.
Okay, we have that right.
All the items you would like to advocate.
Also, as a person with disability, we have got a right to be present in both houses, both the national and the county assembly, and also the ward assemblies, and in any government program or in any government committees, we've got a right to have a representative there, representing people with disability.
Okay, thank you.
Of need. For example, if I'm visually impaired, I have a right to information presented in Braille, and I have a right presented in sign language friendly format if I am deaf. Thank you.
To be led by a leader of my choice.
So to be imposed.
Not imposters.
Okay. We have the right to vote and elect representatives. We have the right to contest for elections, and we have the right to form political parties or join them. So the many issues or challenges that we had, or the issues that we saw that the issues that were affecting people with disabilities, we found in participating in electoral processes, we find that those issues are rising, whereby ukipata umenyimwa nafasi ya kuparticipate in those spheres, hauna hiyo right ya kuvote. Maybe even kuchukua hiyo kura ya kadi ya kura you cannot access the information, hujapata that information, maybe hauna ID ya kukufanya uweze kuparticipate in that. So unapata those issues that we were advocating for, many lie. So we find that we have those rights zenye zinakuwa denied. Tunanyimwa hizo rights to either vote or elect our representatives. We don't have the right to contest for elections venye Cecilia amekasirika. We also have the right to form political parties, join them, and then after to join those political parties, unaweza pata we have some rights zenye tunanyima tukiwa within those political parties. I don't know kama kuna moja yenye mtu anaweza tuambia. You are in a political parties but kuna right umenyimwa within that political party. Can we have those, as much as you form political party or join political party yenye ilikuwa ina exist, but ushaingia ndani ya political party, unasikia ni kama you are not home. You don't feel like.
In a traditional political parties, you find that umkiingia kwa political party wewe kama mlemavu, and this have seen happening even to this current government, that your expression and also your views as a PWD you are being nominated to present your constituents, and the constituents are being nominated to present, there are people with disability, but according to the party, it is hiyo mambo yako ya disability, as in umewekwa tu hapo tu kama title, but you are supposed to say what the party wants. The party which will dictate the party policy of what will say. So you are limited. Your views and the people you are presenting, the disabled, your views are limited. So it is either you do what the party does. Kama wezi, we kainje, wataleta mtu mwingine.
I was somewhere na tulikuwa inafaa tuende mahali. So wenye tulikuwa tuende nao, they were really looking, ile kuangalilia mtu chini. Unaona mtu anakudharau ile ya cha kabisa. So it was like, oh, tukienda na wewe, do you really know how to write? Ndio swali niliulizwa. Unajua kuandika? Kwa tunaweza enda na wewe tuseme labda wewe ni secretary. Do you know how to write? And then nikashindwa kuandika. So akaniuliza tena, nikasema najua. Anauliza tena, do you know how to write minutes? Sio minutes, 2 minutes. Do you know how to write minutes? So venye nilisikia hiyo kitu imeniboa sana. But akasema acha tu tuende na yeye kwa sababu wafadhili wanapenda kuona walemavu. So when I went to our group, kwenda kuambia members wetu wa group, na ukiwa kwa group hapo ndio unapeleka makasiriko yako saa zingine. So mwingine akaniambia, na haukuwa na kalamu, alikuwa amevaa shati na kaa aje ya white. Si ungechukua kalamu umchore ajue unajua kuandika? Nichukue kalamu nichore shati ajue hata mimi najua kuandika. So we have those issues. Unaweza pata labda you are just in that political party na you are just there to be seen and not to be heard. And we really need to yes, have something.
I think there is also the issue of right to human dignity within political parties. And what you're talking about, what I've really experienced a lot when you're talking about mainstreaming persons with disability within political parties, there is also issue of segregation and stigmatization, in the sense that people don't look at a person with a disability as, first of all, just like you have given an example, there are those qualities that you have or that contribution that you can make even as a human being, just like them. It's only that probably you need to be met halfway depending on what your disability is. For example, if I need a ramp, I can do all those other things that a person participating in a party can do. It's only that I need a ramp. But now what political parties do, if you come and you're a person with a disability, hawa ni walemavu. So it is like the party has its own activities. It has activities for women, for youth, for I don't know what, for representation, for all other services that a human being needs. And then, wacha tusikie hawa walemavu wanataka nini. So there is the issue of segregation within the political parties.
I think we should also engage the aspirants, kama ni governors, kama ni members of parliament, and ask them what they have on the table for us. I went for a meeting, just like you're saying, uliangaliwa like, can you write? Then this is somebody who is aspiring to be a governor. And what the person said, alisema shida yenu ni masomo. Shida yetu, she does not know my level of education. But alisema shida yenu si ni wheelchairs, clutches, because masomo ni duni. I really felt bad. Nikamwambia when I came into this meeting, I think first I addressed you in English, nikichanganya na Kiswahili. So it means I'm somewhere. And I think I ended up my contribution hapo. But they later looked for me to say they are sorry. Meaning, that is how wanatuangalia. Yeah? So we need to ask, hata kama ni presidential aspirants, kama umesimama mbele yetu kutuongelesha, what do you have for PWDs? as governors, what do you have for PWDs? Thank you.
On top of that, on political issue, what they see with disability is they just see we need money, we need something for our stomach. Yani ni ile tu wanatutumia, wanaona kama sisi ni watu wa njaa kila wakati.